total demand of medical oxygen has gone up from 3,000 tons a day in phase one to 8,500 tons a day right now during wave two. It's very difficult to predict that there could be a potential demand of any product which is going to scale 10 times in a period of 1 month.
Give us a perspective about what is the current demand and supply situation, because the news of shortage is just not stopping.
I think I'd like to explain to your viewers what is the situation of demand and supply in India. First of all, we must understand that pre-COVID, just before March of 2020, India would manufacture about 7,000 tons a day, 6.5 to 7,000 tons a day, and only about 700 tons a day of that was used as medical oxygen. When we hit phase one or wave one of Corona, at that time, from 700 tons a day, we went to about 3,000 tons a day of consumption of medical oxygen, whereas our production was still at 7,000. At that time, the total active cases that we had in India was only about 10 lakh or 1 million. As we see today, around the 11th of May, the total active cases in the country are closer to 37 lakhs, 38 lakhs. And the total demand of medical oxygen has gone up from 3,000 tons a day in phase one to 8,500 tons a day right now during wave two. At the same time, the entire oxygen manufacturing industry has increased their production by 30% from 7,000 tons a day to 9,200 tons a day only in the past 4 weeks. Sanjay ji, I can tell you that increasing oxygen production for a country by 30% in one month is nothing short of a Herculean effort. And everybody has chipped in money, technology, by cutting down on production of other gases. We've all come together at the right time. And I'm very proud to say that we've been able to save millions of lives. It's very difficult to predict that there could be a potential demand of any product which is going to scale 10 times in a period of 1 month. I think all the actions taken by the Indian government, and one of the biggest ones they did, or a couple of the biggest ones that they did, is number one, allowing industrial oxygen to be used as medical oxygen. That was huge because pre-COVID, only 15% of oxygen was medical oxygen, 85% was industrial. When Government of India allowed everything to be used as medical, immediately the supply chain or the availability of product increased by 7 times, went from 15 to 100. There are only 70 liquid oxygen manufacturing locations across India. Now you have to supply, while the demand for oxygen is in every corner of the country, the supply points are only 70. So all we can do as a nation going forward is make sure it's very difficult to keep adding manufacturing locations. Out of the 70 manufacturing locations, Inox has 16 of them. We've just announced a 2,000 crore investment where we're going to be adding 8 more plants, so that will make it 78 locations of supply points. But you can't make that 700 overnight. It requires huge infrastructure, which frankly isn't required either. We are okay as a country. We've survived for the past 100 years. I don't see why we shouldn't survive for the next 100. With the current infrastructure, all we need to do is increase the number of road tankers, as well as increase the storage at the respective hospital locations, so they have maybe backup for 3 or 4 days versus just a 1-day backup. With regards to the oxygen tankers, once again, pre-COVID, India had only about 1,200 oxygen tankers. Now, please bear in mind that these 1,200 oxygen tankers were sufficient to sell the entire product of 6,500 tons a day that were being made. The reason they were sufficient is because oxygen is usually transported in a very small radius of about 250 kilometers. It is not designed to travel about 1,000 or 1,500 kilometers. But in the past 1 month, the government came out with an order where they asked nitrogen and argon cryogenic tanks to be converted into oxygen as well. By doing this, they were able to increase the liquid oxygen transportation fleet by 50%. It is only because of this move that today we have been able to transport 8,500 tons a day of liquid oxygen to every corner of India. Had that not been done, had the government of India not taken that decision and the industry supported it, we wouldn't have been able to do that. Coming to now the VSAs and PSAs. Of course, at a time of crisis and when people aren't getting their product on time, everybody starts thinking, what else could we have done? Is there anything else? And one of the answers is maybe we should be generating oxygen ourselves by putting up these small plants. While certainly the technology exists, but these are low purity plants. They make only about 92% purity plant, whereas liquid medical oxygen is cryogenic at 99.5 without any impurities. So world over, most hospitals don't have their own oxygen generation because it's a highly specialized process. In my view, it would be good to have these plants as a backup source for the hospital, but certainly not as their primary supply. And the main reason for that is that a hospital's job is to serve its patients, not to generate electricity or to generate oxygen. That's done, or medicines for that matter, that's done by certain specialists. Coming to the number of active cases currently, as you very well said, that currently we have about 38 odd lakh active cases, and the consumption of oxygen is about 8,500 tons a day. Our production is about 9,200 tons a day, so we certainly have a little bit of headroom right there. But looking at the lockdowns that have been announced by every state in the country now, I'm very hopeful, and looking at the empirical evidence from Maharashtra and Gujarat, where we are seeing the positive effects of lockdowns being imposed with the cases reducing, we certainly hope that with the lockdowns announced pan-India, the total active cases where we are at 38 lakhs doesn't cross 40, 45 lakhs. And India is certainly geared up to cater to that. We have the logistical support, we have the production, everything is fine. We are no issues. And I can see this wave hopefully turning and going down. If we are to prepare ourselves for the third wave, I think it would be better to attack the virus at its source rather than wait for it to explode and infect a large percentage of our population in parallel. I think it would be better to channelize our energies in reducing the spread of the virus rather than planning for the virus to double from where it is today.